Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meticulous Talks on October 21st. I am Chris Chords.
And I'm Hithroc.
Pleasure to see you, Hithroc,
Yeah.
or speak with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had to skip last week, but
yeah, that was unfortunate, but things happen, things come up. It's all right. We've had a bit of a hiatus recently, but we can finally get to. Gee, it was like a month ago now, wasn't it, HithCon?
pretty much exactly a month ago. It was 4 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. A event. Well, you should probably explain it. You know better than me.
What is there to explain? People came, people played. That's it.
Hmm. Well, people came and played from all around the world. Actually, one of the most international events we've had recently, I think.
I mean, Everfree was pretty international. You had people from UK, you had people from US, you had people from Canada. Maybe some other places too.
Hmm. Well, then HithCon was on par with Everfree.
Sure, let's go with that. But yeah. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we had a core event played there, which we had 9 participants. We played 4 rounds. It was hard fought and fun.
Yeah. And a lot of different decks.
A lot of different decks. Yes. Let me see. Let me look through. Yellow. I see pink. I see purple. Blue. Do I see orange?
Yes. GP's deck.
Oh, GP's deck, of course. Yes. So we do have them all, right?
Yeah.
Great. We will only be talking about the top 8, usual. So we won't.
Poor GP.
For
But yeah.
well, it's his invitational list anyway. So
Yes.
we will. Yes, much will be said about that in other places. Well, in this place, but at other times. Uh so
Gonna jump
let's
straight in.
go straight in. Yes.
Yeah.
Number 8, played by Bitewave, Thorax. This is the standard Thorax list, right?
Yeah. There we've talked about this one, but yeah, it's exactly the standard list. There's not much to say here now.
Okay. I've seen this deck actually get played a few times now since before. I hadn't watched it actually as many times, and it is pretty impressive to me, I guess, how maybe this is something everyone else already knew. But when you get sort of birds of a feather and Antoine working together, you get quite a lot of like impressive acceleration off of that.
Yeah. And adoption options lets you find both of them.
Hmm.
I think adoption options is what kind of enables a lot of the things that this deck does.
As an early game play, or well, yeah, basically whenever you play
Yeah.
it, yeah,
You just tutor everything you need.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
this deck packs a lot, a lot. If you don't answer to Birds of a Feather, you're likely to lose.
Hmm. Yeah, that being a
That,
critter is
yeah,
pretty impressive and important.
it's very important. But there are also other annoying things in this deck, like Bunyips, Jonas. I hate Yona.
Hmm. Yeah, Jonas it can be such an well, yeah, against basically anything else is non-aggro, especially anything that's non-thorax.
Yeah.
Although even versus another thorax list, it's actually pretty important because it's an answer to birds with a feather.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think I would still sideboard her against other Thorax list, but yes, yeah. I myself play a lot of decks that run really important cards with 3 or more power,
Hmm.
and Neona just ruins my day every time.
Always happens, yeah. I guess. In the in the thorax versus thorax matchup, after 8 points, because of Professor of Kindness, actually, is more important there. But whatever. Has a lot more
Yeah,
targets, but yeah.
yeah,
But yeah. Yeah, this is actually our only thorax on this list, so great. We can have more to say on other decks.
yeah.
So next up, number 7 is
Max.
Max. Yes, our friend from Vancouver, playing Skystar. Skystar.
Reanimator.
Well, I remember. I have to look closely before I say that word now.
It
Uh,
has royal family. It has
it has catchy song.
4 tricorns.
Yes, I guess this no, and +1. Yes, so this is a reanimator. I'm not going to get yelled at for saying that.
I royal family is still reanimation. I don't. It's the same thing. The
Yeah,
same concept.
you have a couple. I guess the Ember is a little unusual in the animation list. This is a little more, I want to say, more control side, I guess, with the Chrysalis, the Ember, the 2 Mistmains. Or wait, does Reanimator usually run Mistmain?
I think it does, but I'm not sure. Like, does it run bodyguards?
I mean the versions with Royal Family, I think do.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I guess if you're running pink white, you can do that. But yeah, Ember is a little bit unusual.
That is just to. We're no troublemakers. You're not doing farming stuff. Just to keep your problems in play, I guess.
Mm. I mean, she gives power counters. That could be useful.
Right. Well, she's a singleton, so I guess she's in there for a particular matchup.
Maybe
Versus
against farm.
farm, yes, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, Ember is a fun card.
She is. I wish more decks would play it.
Yeah.
Well, being a tricorn, it's more reanimator decks, I guess, specifically.
It really saddens me because during playtesting, Ember's immediate ability was just exhausted and face off,
Hmm.
and that was a little bit too strong. So that's why she doesn't ready during the ready phase to like put her down. But it puts her down a little bit too much. Like she never sees play in the end.
Hmm.
But I guess it's kind of I guess tricorns in general don't really see play. Like the only one that comes to mind is Pinky. Pinky you might see outside of tricorn decks,
Hmm.
but the others not so much, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know I've seen Thorax a couple times, but never anything
Oh
super
yeah,
notable.
Thorax. I should play Thorax.
More people should play Thorax. Also
Yeah.
a cool card.
Yeah, Thorax is a fun card. I remember that one. Maybe I'll build a deck with it again.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Reanimator. Uh, number
Should we go next?
6,
Anamoy.
Anamoy, playing a Royal Tutor deck. This is a slightly different one that I'm used to seeing.
Well, this is very different, I would say, because
Well,
first of all, there's no lunch break or any copying shenanigans. This is just
yeah, yeah, a
a
very
control list or some sort of that. Uh, and
uh
it seems like right up what Animoy would play.
right.
This is very much Animoy style here. It has restricted section.
It does. Yeah, so this is going to be one of those decks that tests my ability to name an archetype. Like, yes, so much removal. Belly flops, chaos blast, uh, smile can do it technically.
Sunset Shimmer.
Sunset shimmer, yes.
Worn out is a soft removal betrayal.
Worn
Yeah.
out, yeah.
Like
But wait a second. How is restricted section? We don't have spirit siphon in here, do we?
no, I think you just do it, just use her ability.
Okay. Oh,
Like
well.
hmm?
Oh, she synergizes with closed loop. That's the idea, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Somebody was discussing that on Discord earlier, right? Like a couple of days ago. That
Yeah.
restricted section works with closed loop because you gain AT. But there's only a single copy of closed loop here.
Hmm.
Like I mean, you are guaranteed to find it, right? Because you're running Royal Tudor. It's
Yes.
just gonna happen. But maybe like you don't have to find it every time. You can have more than one copy. And like you can remove them whenever.
Hmm.
Although I guess drawing into one is not as nice.
Drawing it is hard is worse. Yes.
Yes.
Uh, don't really have a way of shuffling it back in. So yeah, that makes sense to only keep the numbers
Mm-hmm.
down a bit. Yes.
Yeah. I wonder. So a tangent, okay?
Hmm. Time for one of
Why
those. Yeah.
doesn't yes? Why doesn't a royal tutor deck? Why don't they run 3 copies of closed loop every time? Because you just thin your deck by 3 cards automatically. No,
Hmm.
unless you draw into one, then it's really sad. But like, even if you draw into one, yeah, you have like one death card, but you reduced your deck size by 2 for free. You don't have to play them; you just banish them. That's the idea. It's kind of like Tranquility in a sense,
Hmm.
except doesn't give you any AT.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I guess the argument would be, as by the way, I see Animoy in the chat, that this is actually not the deck he played at the tournament.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. That's the deck he submitted. I did not do deck checks during the tournament, so maybe next time it will be a tier 2 tournament, huh?
perhaps, yeah. So the I guess I can just quickly verify the deck that you put in the chat is mostly similar.
There's no closed loop.
Yeah. Let me just very
There is Spirit
quickly.
Siphon.
Alrighty. There we go. There's the real deck.
It's so unfortunate that Rainbow Shine is a Pegasi.
What, you would prefer a unicorn?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I never answered your question. Um, the assumption would be, on my part, that I guess there's nothing else to cut. That everything else in there is like that the cards that are in there are better than having a 40, whatever that would be. I guess 40. 39 card deck of what's left over.
Okay, but then why not run like a 51 card deck? Why is the 50 the magical number? Like,
I
to
sup-
me, it seems that 50 is the magical number because that's the minimum, right? But clearly it's not.
right. So you're adding 3 cards that are not cards. Wait,
Maybe you add 2 because 3 is so likely you'll draw into one.
yeah, like 3 is too likely.
2, I think, is reasonable.
Maybe.
Mm,
I guess it's still a popular deck. You go try it.
there's also like a bunch of cards that, like, I was wondering a similar thing about what was that card name? It's a 0-cost pink event that draws you a card.
Wait. Should
It has like if opponent has more than 8 points, something happens, but
yeah.
it draws you the card every time.
Shoot,
I don't remember what's its
I
name. I think it's
I know what you're thinking of, but I
Surprise
don't.
Party Notes.
That might be it. Uh, Fence. That was the Friends Forever set, right?
Yes, it is Surprise Party Notes.
Yeah.
Oh well, it draws you a card if the player has 8 or more points, but like eventually it thins your deck. So that's another one that I was always wondering about. Like it replaces itself, so it practically thins your deck out. And like it's just like Cheese runs a single copy of Tranquility in his orange BRB deck, right?
In
In
Invitationals.
Invitationals.
Yeah.
For this specific reason, to thin the deck by 1 card.
Right.
Because that's the only thing that a single copy of Tranquility does.
Yeah. So for versions of Celestia that are pure combo, yes. Like Animoy's list here isn't pure combo.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. So like yes, for versions of the deck that are considered to be pure combo lists, then yes. I think smaller deck is always better.
That's why I run 53 cards in every combo deck I play in Invitationals. All 3 of them.
Yeah, you did fine with that.
Okay, should we move to the next deck?
Perhaps, yes. Tangent number 1 achieved.
That was a good
Okay.
one.
Oh yeah, next up is me.
Tell us about your deck.
Well,
It's just Invitationals
it
list, right?
is just the invitationals list. Yes, this is. Oh, this was the tradition. Well, geez, it wasn't. Okay, it's not the traditional Cadence Blue. I mean, I guess it kind of is. I looked back through the TIA results to find the last time someone actually played it, and it was Elfin Pen like a year ago. So I I don't know if I can call this traditional per se. Maybe I can because it was a year ago. Maybe I can't because it hasn't been played in a long time. But it was just that, and then I put one more Wrath of Gilda in it, and I don't remember what I cut for that. Very minimal changes.
I mean, fair enough. There's a lot of good things here.
Right. Oh, and then I had to change out the problems because some of the problems were banned for invitationals.
Didn't Ara play something similar at Everfree? Am I
I
misremembering?
it's possible.
It
I
was also Cadence Blue, I'm pretty sure.
check that.
Yeah, okay. His was Cadence Blue. Well, it had like more stuff, but the general deck structure is about the same. I would say.
Uh,
Like he runs DJ
mm-hmm.
and
Oh yeah, the DJ was what I cut. I remember that now. Yes.
there we go, we found your card. But like generally it seems like it is the same deck as ours.
pretty
No blind
much.
faults. Yeah.
Yeah, I think and maybe it's just because I don't know how the tech works, but I've felt that 3 discords is way too much when you don't have rules technicality in there. Um, like,
Mm,
what is this
yeah,
card
maybe you
even
should.
here for if not to find that problem? Maybe I should. It has been pointed out. I'm one of the cowards
Yes.
in the invitational. Um, in this particular tournament, I know I played terribly with this deck. Uh, it never felt right. But that was all just practice for the match with Grand Pause, where it actually did
Yeah,
feel right. So
it was smart to play your invitational list.
I
Did you
guess
encounter Grand Falls in core matching? I don't
I I
remember.
I, I did. Yeah, I actually played
Mm-hmm.
it. It was actually on stream.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah, and it went badly for me. Or well, wait, no, I did win. Because GP lost all his games,
Yes.
but it felt it felt terrible for me.
Incorrect, right?
Yeah. But yeah, this deck has the potential to go very fast when the cards fall properly, uh, and also to reach a mid game that's very efficient with Party Mare and Fleetfoot, um, and has the potential to catch up against Thorax because of the 2 Rathagildas, or even I guess actually in my occasional match against Grand Pause to potentially go toe to toe with Thorax if the cards fall right.
Yeah. Okay. Shall
Yeah,
we
sure.
go to the next deck?
Next up is Engineer with Rainbow Dash Flight Instructor. I mean, I haven't seen it in a little while.
Yeah, I had to like dust off the part of the memory that remembered all of the interactions between field erasers and this main.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Fleetfoot, it's like, yes, this card can move when you move this, but you cannot move it when you move that because that doesn't have the power yet, or that will have like, ah.
Yeah. Why is it that this main had to be in best used in the colors that made everything so weird, like that?
Like because when NG built this deck, he was like asking me a lot of questions on this interaction. I was like, I remember that probably.
Like it is. I'll admit, I always forget how this works too. So it's the power that the card has like at the start of its move that matters, right?
It depends on how the ability is worded, because Rainbow Dash triggers when you move a character to any problem, and then the effect checks the power, right?
Okay.
So you check the power when you process the ability. But on Fleetfoot, for example, it's when you move a character with greater than this card's power. So it like checks it at the trigger check. So it's all very confusing because like one card does it one way, another card does it another way.
Right. So Fleetfoot works the same way as Cloud Tracer and Flitter.
Yes,
Okay.
but Rainbow Dash works differently because her trigger is just when you move a character to a problem for the first time, and the power checking is happens when you actually process that trigger. It's
Wow.
fun.
That's wow. Yeah, that's weird. But I understand why it works that way, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Andrew was very confused about it. It's like I will be calling judge every minute. He never called the judge during the tournament, but uh, I also don't know if he played it 100% correct, and if he didn't, I wouldn't blame him because uh, it's not intuitive. Right? Well, unless you build an intuition for it, it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Having it explained it and if you have a good understanding of the way triggers work, then you can kind of wrap your head around it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's advanced stuff. This is a tutorial deck right here. Um, about triggers and state checking and such.
Yeah.
It has that dichotomy in it, plus a whole bunch of stuff that makes stuff move and and procs those triggers.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards that move stuff here. You have Loyal Pony, you have Plushy Dash, you have Fleetfoot, you have Cloud Chase and Fleeter, you have Shoe Shine, and you have a bunch of other stuff.
Yep.
Uh, like Defend the Hive.
Defend the Hive's a little bit interesting.
It is an immediate move for 118.
It is. Yeah. You don't have any changelings to get the second benefit, but
Arista.
you do have a changeling.
A
I
singular.
did not notice that.
I don't think you'll pay 2 to move Arista unless you're like in a dire situation.
It's the kind of thing you should remember that you can do, though.
Yes. Because, yeah, keeping your options open, yeah, sometimes it could help you. Um, but yeah, I can give a little bit of insight into how this deck was built.
Hmm.
Though was not really helping much to build it, but I know the intention. And the intention behind it is that NG really likes Shoeshine, and everything comes after that. So, like the rest of it's just Shoeshine is the center card, and the rest of the deck is kind of like grown around her.
All right. Well, if you're gonna pick a card to like and build a deck around, you could do worse.
Yeah, Shoeshine is really good, and she's still really good. Like clearly, NG ended with 3-1, right? And that's the second score, with the first being 4-0. So yeah, blue yellow still good. Shoeshine still good. Uh, it's nice. It's interesting that I'm saying nice to Pegasi, basically Pegasi blue yellow, but we haven't seen it in a long time. It's all mono yellow nowadays.
Hmm. Thing I see is I remember right. This is the main requires 3 characters with different powers to flip.
Yes,
I presume you
it's
start Buckball, so you're looking well. I assume.
if you start Buckball, you do Fleetfoot or Brian, although you need yellow for Brian. And I don't know how. Huh?
Well, Arista is
Arista.
your 3. Yeah.
But yeah, he did express like so. The main was kind of again the first card in mind here was Shoeshine, and the main was kind of like okay, what mains can I play with Shoeshine? And he didn't want a yellow main, and that leaves you pretty much with the only option in core, which is the flight instructor.
Well, or like Seleno.
Yeah, but like Salina is pretty plain,
Hmm.
and there's also Wonderbolt,
Right.
but Wonderbolt is also kind of hard to play with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like this is the better main for this deck for sure,
Yes.
compared to those other two options. But it is hard to
I
flip
guess
here.
there's Gallus too, but that's not
Yeah,
gonna happen. Yeah.
no. It'd be funny if there was Gallus. Uh, yeah, it is pretty. If you start with Concerning, it's also hard to flip, but a little easier, I guess. You
Uh.
need you need free either way, right? There's no way around that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you could get
If
a free through Traveler on Fleetwood.
Yeah, yeah. Like if one of your openers is like Cloud Tracer and Flitter, then that can change your math up too with their boosting other stuff.
Yes.
It's an interesting little puzzle to solve. There maybe there's a slightly more optimized version that tweaks it a little bit. But as you said,
Yeah.
it's Fleetfoot, your Shoeshine deck.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, number 3 is
Yeah.
Van playing Chrysalis.
Yeah, except not a control deck.
Except not a control deck. I think that's
This
fair to
is
say.
Timble deck.
Pretty much. Yeah, I see more colorful changelings than black ones in here. But that usually means aggro.
Yeah, is that how it works?
Generally.
Yeah. So can also give a little bit insight behind this deck. It was Timble deck. If
Hmm.
uh, if Andrew really likes Shushan, if he's really likes Timble, and kind of the rest of the deck kind of grew around that too. Uh, yeah, it's just changelings, all of them, most of them anyway, for aggro and other stuff.
Hmm.
And the main, I don't know why main is Chrysalis. He just liked Chrysalis, I guess. I think there are better mains. You could like run Marcellus or something, or you could run, I don't know, Thorax would be, well, yeah, Thorax would be fine here, not
Yeah.
too bad.
So like I was getting ready to say that, like, oh, like with Buckball, you actually have most of your Rex sorted out, but no, you don't have Buckball in this deck. So like if you started Buckball, then you could play Thorax, you could play Petiole, you could play like a lot of stuff is open actually.
Yeah,
Um, on an unflipped main.
this deck doesn't run.
But it doesn't. No, it starts
Yeah,
mystery. I assume.
well, that's the, oh, well, or lacking, I guess, depending, right?
Well, yeah, depending on the matchup. And then you are hoping for.
No, you pay free to flip.
Well, yeah, yeah, you
I
could.
think that's the thing. I think.
It's not a like yeah, it's not an awful play most of the time. I don't know. I guess I find that I guess in my experience, if you pay 3 to flip Chrysalis as like the first thing that you do,
It's
it's
gonna
it's
flip back.
it's gonna flip back at some point. And I guess maybe it's unrealistic of me to expect that I can find a way to only flip it once for the whole game, but I would prefer to.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I'm the guy at 2-2, and he's at 3-1, and one of my wins was a bye. So perhaps I have no reason to, no ability to criticize.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised how well Engie and Fizz both did because they're both like kind of rusty players.
Hmm.
Haven't played this game in a while, and kind of played a little bit of matches before HithCon to prepare. And like they're both 3-1, and it's not like the scene was not competitive, right? It's you had a lot of good players there
Hmm.
in that tournament, but just the nature of it being kind of the CCG event. We had GP, right? We had Cheese.
Hmm.
We had you,
You,
Max.
me.
No, I was not playing.
Oh, that's right. You weren't playing.
I didn't have
Right.
a deck.
And someone needed to judge.
Yes, I also didn't want to. Yeah, uh, be distracted with two things. Like the thing is that the stream needed to be running and judging needed to be happening. It's unlikely I would be able to also play the game at the same time.
Hmm. Well, you just
But
need to play that mill deck so that you can, when your opponent's not doing anything, when it's your opponent's turn, you can be out judging.
or I could play against Royal Tutor every time, and then when they large break, I just do other things.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Sure. Next up is Minty.
Minty with a Royal Tutor deck next.
Royal Tutor deck. This is the normal Royal Tutor deck, right?
I think this is. Yes, it is pretty much the normal Royal Tutor deck.
With
Except there's
those,
now free lunch break.
except there's now 3 lunch breaks because what we clearly needed was more of that.
I mean, it was 0 at first, then 1, then 2, and now we're up to 3.
Yeah. And I mean, the deck would play more, I assume, if it could,
Yes.
since it does by copying them.
Oops, all lunch breaks.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, this deck is now illegal, so
it is, I guess. Yeah. Now that ban has actually come through.
yeah.
I already forgot. What was the card that got banned?
Magic Instructor.
Magic Instructor. Right. Okay.
Makes me sad. That was a fun card.
It is sad, but it is. Well, it's easy enough to say this in retrospect, but it seems like the kind of card that was going to be bad until it was good, and then it got banned. Right? Like, if someone found a way to make it good enough to be run, they would find a way to make it good enough to get banned.
Probably, yeah. Still very sad.
Still very sad. Yes. No dispute on that point. As is true of all cards that people try to make work for so long. It is always sad to see them go. But happy, in a way. She achieved something.
I believe that's called Victim of Success.
I'm proud of Magic Instructor for doing something impressive for one. She's joining a phalanx of very good cards out there in the ban pile. The Hall of Fame of the CCG.
Sure. I'm sure people will agree with you that Tantibus is in the Hall of Fame. Or in fame.
Yeah. The Hall of Infame, perhaps, yes. Notoriety. That's the word. Is there anything about this deck you actually want to say?
No, this is just a standard Royal Tudor list. We've talked about it. It has tricks in it, so it's good.
Yep. All right. Moving on to number 1 then.
Yeah, that's cheese.
That's
4-0.
cheese. 4-0 with a cadence, with a modified cadence blue.
Yeah, it's his invitational list.
It is his invitational list, and I was very wrong about it, as he told me on the stream.
Yeah, it's not actually an aggro list.
I mean, could have fooled me. I think.
It looks like aggro.
I think it looks like aggro. Yeah, you still got Angel Wings, Spitfire, Gallus as a power efficient free move card, cost reduction, party mare, cost reduction in the guild that is.
Yeah. But it isn't.
But it's not.
It's a really paradoxical deck right here.
Yeah. So for those unaware, I mean we have the lunch breaks. I need to make sure that I get this right. Like it is a still partying
Yes.
combo, right?
Yes. The idea is that you use lunch breaks and Gabby to deck out yourself really, really quick, and then you're just still partying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, I think the core thing about this deck is fairly simple. And everything rest is just helps you get there. With guildas and their cost reductions and so on, and confronting problem every now and then is also useful.
Yeah. I guess it's weird in that sense because I'm used to seeing combo decks like have a combo and surround themselves with just card draw and AT generation. Whereas this deck surrounds that combo in an aggro list.
Yeah, but you like Gabby is the card draw.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
I mean, Cadence is the card draw. Also,
that's true. That is true. Now, considering that this is not an aggro list, why does
Mhm.
it run one copy of Rules Technicality? I guess there's a good chance you'll confront it, and Discord could be useful for that. I don't know.
Hmm. see. And you do have a pretty good chance of being able to confront it, given the lunch breaks. That can be something to slot into a lunch break section.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
Um, in fact, why don't you have 2 rules technicalities? Then you can confront it and then replace it with another one and then confront it again on your next turn.
I mean, yeah, that's 6 points.
I mean,
A lot of
frankly, yeah. If you're running lunch breaks, you could confront so many rules technicalities.
maybe that should be the combo. We just keep confronting rules technicality. But you need discords for that. Like, you have to have discords.
Yeah, you need to have 3 of them.
Well, 2. This deck runs 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a weird deck. I don't know.
It is a
Cheese
weird deck.
says that it can't aggro. I think it can. When it needs to.
I mean,
But
yeah, I feel like it should be able to if it needs to. It's got all, well, maybe not all the right pieces, but most of them.
yeah.
I guess it is. No, I was gonna say, like, I was gonna talk about disruption, but you still got the 3 belly flops, 3 stop fightings. You're fine on that front. Like, what does this deck sacrifice from the normal cadence list to be a combo list? Go look at mine again for a second here.
Blushy Dash.
Yes.
Uh, what other stuff is there? I mean, a bunch of move
Wrath.
stuff like
Yeah.
Fleet Foods or Loyal Ponies or
Okay.
Wrath.
Yeah, Wrath of
Yeah.
Gilda. Yeah, okay, so a fair amount of that, yeah, that entry stuff.
Like, I think what it sacrifices is a lot of movement stuff that you get from blue.
Right. Okay, so that makes sense then. I can understand them. That argument to say this isn't an aggro deck, per se. Because unless you start Angel Wings Party Mare, then you're not going to have a particularly fast start. I can understand that argument.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing you can open with Angel Wings even, and you're not gonna play Angel Wings into Party Mare. That's sad.
Well, I mean, like, you're playing Angel Wings into Angel Wings.
And then,
Into something that confronts a problem, right?
yeah,
Like
what?
that's.
I mean, Gilda is a good option again.
I mean, it's just the point of being able to do 6 AT worth of stuff with only, 2 AT or whatever
Yeah.
is at least in my mind is going to be a good aggro start no matter what you're doing, as long as you're getting value for that AT.
You know what I think? I think this deck should run alternative solution. So you trigger Gabby twice per turn.
But then how do you confront it?
You just get purple somewhere. It's not
Oh,
too hard to
you
get
play
purple.
Lusterdon.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly. Like with lunch breaks and Gabby and alternative solution, you'll be out of deck in no time.
Now, that actually sounds like potentially worth investigating.
And then since you already have a little bit of purple, maybe you can put tranquilities in and you know just run blue movement and confront multiple problems. No, that doesn't involve running purple.
Yeah, that sounds too normal.
Also, here's a crazy idea. You can trigger Gabby even more if you give your opponent some problems. You can make a deck out of this.
You could make a deck out of this. Yeah. I feel like you're already doing it pretty good.
Just in a little other direction. I don't use Gabby.
It's true.
I just score points.
Just score points. Yep.
If I can trigger Gabby 16 times, I can probably win.
But you know what? Sorry. Before we leave, any last comments?
No.
JP brings up a good point with that last comment he's brought in the chat about a card whose name I've not heard before. I have. I've looked at the card, but it's not been said on this stream. Because in between the big long time between our last stream, there was a bit of news.
Oh yeah, that's right.
About 10, right? 10 new cards?
I think so. 11, actually? It's 10 or 11. It's one of those two numbers.
Some number short of a dozen of new cards. 11.
11, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. The third iteration of Prize Wheel is good timing. It's something to talk about for the long winter months.
Yeah.
That are coming for us.
Which I'm eagerly waiting for.
You and me both, friend. Yeah. It has been just stupidly hot. Well,
it was, yeah.
I shouldn't say it's been like 15, 16 degrees, but that's stupidly hot by my thermometer.
It's been 22, 23 like 2 weeks ago, and only last week that like picked up some rain and some nice coldness, and it's 10 degrees now. It's much nicer.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, point of the matter is, come next stream, we'll have some cards to review. They're only betas for now. They could still change. And I think probably will change in a couple of respects. There's already been a couple of, I think, thoughts toward changing some of them. I guess that's my interpretation of some of the things I've seen in the supplement rules Discord channel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that gives us something to talk about 2 weeks from now. The third iteration of Prize Wheel. And, no, spoilers, I think there's some really good cards in there. I shouldn't say good per se. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Historically, they have been really good, I guess. Like the first Prize Wheel only had 2 cards in it that didn't see any real play. Cozy Glow and Torch. And then the second one only had 1 card in it that never really saw play. Don't remember off the top of my head what it was, but I do remember counting it. Go here. Was
Still no Pixie Tricorn. It was teased a while back, and then we never saw it.
card. Oh yeah, Scorpion and Star Swirl. That's the one that didn't make a big impact out of Prize Wheel 2. So based on that, this supplement, Prize Wheel 3, is likely to have a big impact as well.
Yeah. It has some good cards. It has a really good Trixie card.
It does.
Well, Trixie on the art.
You're enough with all of these to know which card you're talking about.
Talking about How About You.
Oh, that one. Yes. Oh, that one. Yes. What a card. Oh, we'll fill a lot of time talking about that one, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that card is interesting. It also, so, I mean, I have to say it. Think about that card in the context of Changeling Pretender.
Yep.
And what fun things he could do with that.
Yeah, that is okay. That's a great sign off. Nothing better than to leave people thinking about that for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, sure.
Although, also, I have to say, thank you to everybody for coming out and watching the stream. We will be back tonight for the first semi-final match of the Invitational. Tonight is Grandpa's versus Big Cheese for a spot in the final. It's a good match. Yeah. Let me say there's a very unusual thorax game, and then I will say nothing more on the matter till we get there. And meanwhile, yeah, we'll be back 2 weeks from now with, as mentioned, a look at Prize Wheel 3. Oh, and if you haven't yet had the chance to check it out, tonight we will be just because it'll be in the bracket that you'll see on stream. You will see the result of my match against Hithroc in the lower bracket. So if you
Which is
don't,
public.
if you don't want to be spoiled by that, go to our YouTube channel over there and watch it, which is where it is right now.
I will say that in that game, in that match, there's a lot of really cool games there.
There was some,
Especially the one where I played Royal Tudor versus, I don't remember versus what now, but I played it versus something. Oh yeah, that's right. Your BRB list. That's
yes.
right.
Well, it wasn't really a BRB list. It was just
Yeah,
control.
but that game was something.
That game was something.
That game had us both laughing.
Yes. So I said, yeah, if you don't want to get rudely spoiled on it tonight, watch it before then. And while you're there, maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss the rest of the lower bracket this year's event. All right. Otherwise, until next time, I've been Cursor Chords.
And I've been Hithroc.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.